Thank you for joining once more in CAF Informs. Every Thursday, we bring to you information that is really important and unique for your community and resources that you need to know about different programs that are happening in the community. This is Walkiria Pool, and this program is hosted by Center for Assistance to Families, CAF, CAF. We hope that this information will be useful for you because we want to empower you with information. We want to make sure that everybody that is listening get the information that you need in order to share with somebody else. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. If you haven't shared, please do that. Share with your friends. You're going to learn all the workers' compensation. You're going to learn about what are the rights, what are the things that you should be concerned about, and also whether you can go and share if you have any complaints, where you're going to go and share that. Today we're going to have someone who has been working with a Center for Assistance to Families, an organization that has been working with us for the last few years, and that is the Department of the Attorney General from the state of Massachusetts. They're going to empower you with information today that you have to listen. So if you don't have a pen or a pencil, if you don't have a notebook, please look for that because you need to get this information. And you're only gonna get this information for once. You're gonna keep it in some place where you can always have access to you, and you can share with friends and family who need them. So make sure that you go to our, make sure that you take the time to take notes and also get this information. And with us, we have Oumou Cherif. She is the outreach coordinator for the Attorney General. And we know Nora, Haley, who is the Attorney General currently at the state of Massachusetts. They've been working so hard to ensure that the community, especially the underserved community, get represented. And today I want you to learn all about these programs. I want you to hear what you need to do in case you've been discriminated or in case you feel that you haven't been treated the way that you should be. Oumou, welcome to our program. Thank you so much for taking the time. Last Tuesday, we got Janelli, who was able to share with us, with the audience in Spanish, all the different resources. And today you're gonna share all this great information to the audience who speak English. So please take time to take notes and also share with your friends. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Walkiria. It's such a pleasure to be here today. As you know, the AG's office, we love sharing information, and our goal is to make sure the Massachusetts residents are all armed with the necessary resources to protect themselves, especially in a workplace. So I am excited and I'm ready to go. I am just going to share my page with you guys before we get started. Perfect.
Please share this. This Facebook Live. Share with as many people as you can. Also, you can go to our YouTube page, MyCAF in YouTube. If you go and you find MyCAF, you'll be able to get this presentation as well. So make sure that you share and also that you subscribe to our channel.
Perfect. Thank you so much again for having me here today. I'm pretty excited. And before we start the presentations on workers' rights, as always, we like to put the face to the name. This is the wonderful Attorney General Mara Haley. She is the Chief Lawyer and Law Enforcement Officer in the state of Massachusetts. And it's important to know who Mara is, but what's more important even is to know where we are located, how you can reach us despite everything that is going on in the world right now. So just to let you guys know, we are located in 4 different areas within the Commonwealth. We do have an office in Central Mass. We have 2 offices in Boston. We have an office in Southern Mass. We also have an office in Springfield. In the light of the pandemic right now, we've been working virtually, but we do want you guys to understand that we remain committed to serving every single one of you guys in the Commonwealth. So please, the fact that you cannot be with us in person, please know that we are open and working on regular hours. So, you know, while walk-ins are not encouraged right now in person, we are encouraging everyone to file complaints online and as well as by calling our office. So please, if there's any issue going on at all, don't feel like because of the pandemic, you cannot reach out to us, because we do have an outlet where you can reach out to us. All right, so before we get started again on workers' rights, as always, we'd like for you guys to know who the AGO served and how do we go about serving constituents across the Commonwealth. So just to let you guys know, we do serve all residents in the Commonwealth and their public interest. And when I say residents, I like to be very precise with that. That means regardless of your legal status, as long as you work and live in the state of Massachusetts, we are here to serve you. We also serve the state departments, officers, and commissions. We also serve a group of consumers. So an example of a group of consumers, for instance, right now with all the pandemic going on right now, I know some of you guys have bought tickets to maybe travel to Jamaica, Haiti, or perhaps the Dominican Republic. So for instance, right now, you have made those purchases and all of a sudden with the pandemic and everything that is going on right now, you're no longer able to travel, but your sales associates that you dealt with the what's it called, agent that you work with the what's it called, travel agency. So with those, in fact, they are refusing to reimburse you, just know that our office is here to support you. You can actually reach out to our consumer advocacy and response division to help you out with that. So just know that with any purchases you've been making lately, you can always get those reimbursements to us. All right. So how do we go about executing our work in the office? We do this in 4 different ways. We do a ton of investigation, especially when it has to do with violations with workers' rights, as well as enforcement. Right now, the minimum wage is actually $12.75. So if you are currently working and getting paid below the minimum wage, this is where we come in to enforce the law to ensure that you are getting paid the right amount of minimum wage. And also, we do a lot of policy work. So while we do not write policy, we do have a policy and government division that work closely with our state legislators. And also prevention is where we come in. Prevention, we educate you guys. We want to make sure that you guys are actually armed with the necessary resources to actually advocate for yourselves. All right, so the minimum wage, this is really an important thing for you guys to know. As mentioned earlier, the minimum wage is currently $12.75. So as of next year, it's going to be an increase of 75 cents. So that means it's going to be $13.50. So every year it's going to be the same increase. By 2023, we are looking at $15. All right, so when it comes to service and restaurant employees, it's a little different. So right now at 2020, we are looking at $4.95. But that is going to be also another increase of 60 cents, which means by 2021, it's going to be $5.55. And that's going to be another increase again until it reaches $6.75. But what you guys need to understand here, although you are currently getting paid $9.95 as a minimum wage as a service employee, you need to know that as an employer, it is their responsibility to actually make up the difference. So if you are making $4.95, your employer has to make up the difference so that the minimum wage you're taking home is also $12.75. So this is another important thing you guys need to know. For most hourly and salary employees, it's really important for you guys to know that if you work more than 40 hours a week, you are actually getting paid time and a half regular rate. So that should be happening with your employer. And if that's not happening, please, you can always reach out to our office. And I do want you guys to know that there are some exceptions to overtime laws, but you would have to check in with your federal laws for coverage in the event of that. Premium pay, this is also another important thing for you guys to know. For most retailers that actually employ more than 7 workers, including the owner, they are actually required to pay employees at least a premium rate on Sundays. Below is actually the information you guys need to know. So currently it is 1.3 times regular rate, and that is going to decrease until it gets eliminated by 2023. Now, when that gets eliminated, it's really important for you guys to know that as of 2023, your employer cannot make you go to work on a Sunday. If they do, that means it is illegal and it should not be happening. And what we've seen happen as well is where employers will actually threaten you and tell you they will punish you or retaliate against you in any way for refusing to go to work. So if that happens, in the event that that happens, it should not be happening at all, especially in 2023. So meal break is another important thing for you guys to know as well. As workers, we all know we get a ton of work throughout the day, and sometimes we're just having that day where we need to take a break and relax. So we do want you guys to know that what is required by the law, you are entitled to get your 30 minutes break after 6 hours of work, which means you can actually leave the workplace and, you know, visit a colleague and have a lunch break with them. That is absolutely fine. However, what you also need to know is that you can actually voluntarily give up your meal break, but you have to understand that the employer actually needs to pay you for the time that you work. So if you do decide that you don't want to have a break, but instead you just want to work, just know that your employer needs to pay you for that. So the Wage Act law, this is really important for you guys to know that as a general rule, workers actually must be paid within 6 days of the end of the pay period. That is important to know, and that is usually every week or every 2 weeks for hourly employees. Timely of payment may differ for certain employees, of course. You might have to check in with your employer, but the most important thing for you to know here is that when you're working, you're either supposed to get paid weekly or bi-weekly, and if they're not paying you on time, that is considered illegal. Another important information you guys need to know, is great that we're all working, we're getting those paychecks, but it's also important for you guys to know the deductions that are getting out of your paycheck. So required by the law is actually your Social Security, taxes, court orders, deduction. An example of a court order deduction would be a child support. So it's important for you guys to know that as well. These are the only 3 that is required by the law. Now, authorized by you, for your sole benefit would be your health insurance as well as savings plan. So if you are interested in having a health insurance, which is important right now, especially with everything going on with the pandemic, it's really important that you guys have a health insurance as well as savings plan. So with those, that is authorized by you. And when it comes to what's it called, lodging or meal, that should not be deducted out of your paycheck at all, and your employer cannot do that to you. An example of deductions also that are not allowed is dissatisfaction with work performance. For instance, your employer cannot tell you, well, you know, Amanda, you have been working, but unfortunately, I have not been satisfied with your work. Therefore, I'm going to deduct $50 or $100 out of your paycheck. That should not not be happening, it is illegal. Same goes to damage to property. If you are a cleaner, for instance, you break a broom or you break a glass that you were cleaning and your employer tells you, well, I'm going to deduct that out of your paycheck. That should not be happening at all. That is also illegal. And it comes to also uniform. These are things we've heard in the past where employers are actually charging uniform costs, which is not be, which shouldn't be happening at all. It should not be deducted out of your paycheck at all. So documentation with pay, this is another important thing for you guys to know. Employers actually must give you guys a pay slip or a pay stub. That's really important for you guys to know, because in the case that you actually are ready to file a complaint with our office for whatever issue you may have going on, we might ask for these documents to do further investigation. So your employer's name should be on there, your name should be on there, time and the date that you work should be on there, and as well as hourly rate of pay. So we want to know if you're actually getting paid the right minimum wage. That is really important for you guys to know. And also amount of deduction, whether increase is made for the pay period or not. So all the deductions that I mentioned earlier, you should be making sure that the right deduction are being deducted, not things like uniform costs or damage to property. Termination pay, this is also another important information you guys need to know. Let's say right now you are fired or terminated or laid off. You must know that you must get paid in full on the last day of work. And also, if you do decide to quit or resign for whatever reason, that is within your rights. But however, you need to know that you must be paid on full on the regular pay date. That's also important for you guys to know. Again, we talk about all these different scenarios because these are situations we have heard about in the office. These are issues that people have filed a ton of complaints about. And also wages including any earned sick time, wages including any vacation earned time, not sick time. So for the vacation time you haven't used, you would actually get paid for that, but not sick time. Just so that you guys know the difference with that. And also we have some great, just unemployment resources that you guys need to know. This is really great information for you guys to know. So for non-citizen workers who are authorized to work in the United States may apply for unemployment insurance benefit. However, for persons who are undocumented, they should not file for unemployment benefits at all. So again, you should only apply if you actually have the authorization to work in the US, and you guys can actually find out more information on that from the Massachusetts Department of Unemployment Assistance. You can go on their website and see all the steps that you need to take in order to actually apply. And also unemployment benefits do not count for public charge. So if you do have a concern for that, that's nothing to worry about at all. If you are authorized to work, you can again file for unemployment, and it does not count for public charge decisions. And also another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind with the whole COVID situation going on right now, we've been hearing a ton of complaints with people just scamming individuals. So I do want you guys to know that you can report unemployment fraud to the Department of Unemployment Services. They are working closely right now together to ensure that people are not taken advantage of. So if you have any fishy thing going on where you feel like your Social Security has been compromised, you can definitely reach out to the Department of Unemployment Assistance. And currently right now, most Massachusetts employees are now entitled to actually earn up to 40 hours of sick time per year, which is incredible. When you have these hours, you are able to use it to do a ton of things, and I will touch base on that in the next slide. So how is it earned and how much can be earned in terms of sick time? Well, pretty much you need to know that workers can earn sick time by simply working, and employers provide sick time to workers either by accrual. That's, for example, as you are working, you are actually earning sick time hours. So the more you come to work, the more you accumulate sick time hours. And also in a lump sum way, which at the beginning of the month for a year, you are actually given a particular amount of sick time, which you already know about. And how do you go about earning this? So for every 30 hours that you work for, you are actually accumulating an hour of sick time, which can increase up to 40 hours per year. How can sick time be used? Oftentimes, a lot of people wonder, well, you can use it for a ton of different ways that is suitable for you. You can use it to care for your child, a spouse, a parent of a spouse. You can use it just to have a me day. I like to call it a me day, quote unquote, just to take care of yourself or anyone around you. And you also can use it to attend a routine medical appointments for your family, a parent, or for yourself. You can sort of use it anyhow as you please. And also, most importantly, you can use it to address the effect of domestic violence or simply travel to or from the location related to the purpose of which the time was taken. So anywhere you sort of want to use it to handle some personal matters, you can do that. Retaliation. This is another important information you guys need to know. Employers may not retaliate against employees for exercising rights under these laws. For instance, we've heard stories like, employers telling their employees, I will withhold your passport because I'm not satisfied with the level of work that you are giving me. That should not be happening, and it is illegal. No employer should be telling you that there will be withholding your passport or anything of that source. Definitely they cannot retaliate against you, and if this is happening, you can definitely reach out to our office. We have a civil rights division that deals with a ton of discrimination cases, and we'll talk more about that in the next few slides. So employment discrimination, I want you to know the following protected category classes that we have, which is gender identity, sexual orientation, race, color, religion, national origins, disability, if you are the age 40 plus, sex, ancestry, genetic information as well. So these are protected categories. So unemployment discrimination. So I do want you guys to know that employers may not take adverse action against you just because you are part of a protected class, all the classes that I listed in the previous slide. And also they must provide reasonable accommodation for employees with disability, as well for individuals who have certain religious belief. They must provide reasonable accommodation to those employees as well. For instance, I know Christians go to church on a Sunday, or Muslims go to work, go to the masjid where they go pray on a Friday. So if you have those obligations where there's certain time in a day where you have to pray or do something that is related to your religion, as an employer, they're supposed to give you those rights. They're supposed to make those small accommodations for you so that you can actually fulfill your religious duties. Right to sue. This is another thing for you guys to know. Employee actually may sue to obtain owned wages. So currently, if you are dealing with a situation where your wages have been stolen, not only that you would get 3 times the money that the employer owed you, they are actually responsible for paying the cost of attorney fees. So we do have a wage theft clinic that we used to do monthly in person where, we have attorneys that work with different employees who have had their wages stolen. So in the event that you meet with an attorney and you go to court and you win that case against your employer, I do want you guys to know that your employer will be responsible for paying you the money they owe you. Not only that, 3 times that as well, they are responsible for paying for all the costs of of attorney fees. So in reality, you have nothing to worry about. You're absolutely paying $0 to get the help that you need. And of course, we have a fair labor division for that deals with, wage and hour laws. So definitely those would be the right division for you to contact. Payroll records, so it's important for you guys to know that you have the right to inspect payroll records at a reasonable time and places. And as an employer, your employer has to make sure to keep those records for 3 years. So if you need your payroll records within the 3 years frame of time, even if you're no longer with that company, your employer is supposed to have those informations stored for you. And these are just additional resources that we have in addition to everything else we can do for you at the AG's office, which, as mentioned earlier, we have a civil rights division, we have a consumer advocacy and response division where you can file a complaint for any issue that you may be having. But also these are, additional resources such as workers' compensation, as well as occupational safety and health administration, OSHA. So in the event that you are not feeling safe in a workplace, those are individuals that you will reach out to. That would be the right agency for you to reach out to. And also, if you feel discriminated, even if you have already filed a complaint with our office, you can always reach out to the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination as well. And these are just additional resources that we have with the current pandemic situation going on right now. There's a ton of false information going around. So we do advise everyone to refer to the real official government website for the most accurate as well as updated information and resources that you may need. So we do have an entire AGO resource page dedicated to you guys as residents of the great state of Massachusetts. So please refer back to those resources. Any issue that you may have, if you have questions about unemployment issue, if you have questions about discrimination or anything that may be going on with you during these trying times right now, you can actually refer back to that page. And also we have created an entire AGO frontline workers resource page that is dedicated to our wonderful frontline workers. So if you are a frontline worker or know anyone who's a frontline worker, please refer them to that website. We have a ton of great resources to assist them as well during these trying times. And that is about it. This is the way to contact us. You can reach us on www.mass.gov/AGO and also by calling us at 617-727-8400. So if you are currently interested in filing a complaint about an unfair or deceptive trade practice, you can actually reach us on that number, and the link below, you could also file a complaint with us. As mentioned right now, with the current pandemic situation going on, we are not seeing anyone in person. However, we remain committed to serving you guys, so you can definitely contact us via phone or simply go online and file a complaint with us. And these are just additional resources in case you have any questions about wage and hour law. Again, as mentioned earlier, we have a great Fair Labor Division that deals with those issues. And as well, you can call the Fair Labor Division hotline at 617-727-3465. And if you are interested in attending our wage theft clinic, you can go on mass.gov/AGO/wage clinic as well. Currently, we are still working to see how we may have the clinic remotely available, but we would definitely update you guys on that. And below are just specific hotlines or different resources that we have available. And I believe that is it.
Wow, thank you so much, Oumou. I think for those of you who has been following us for the last 3.5 months, probably since we started this program, CAF Informs, this is exactly what we wanted to have. We wanted to have people from our community, from our different institutions that work in partnership with CAP to bring you the information, and not just to bring you the information, but to break it down. And, you know, I usually like to have, you know, a conversation, but for this is a educating presentation that each and every one of you should be, you know, listening and re-listening and re-listening. And because it's not just through the pandemic, this is something that you will always have next to you in case, you know, you have to confront one of the situations. And not just you, but, you know, a friend, a relative, somebody who needs this information about what are my resources, what are my rights as a, you know, as a workers, what are the things that I need to know. You know, what is the minimum wage? When am I expected to get a raise? You know, am I being discriminated? All these questions, sometimes we don't know where to go to, because of course, you're not gonna go to your boss and ask you, should I be getting this much, you know, being paid for the work that I'm doing? Should I be getting a 30 minutes break by law? You know, none of that you're gonna feel comfortable go to. But if you go to the HR department in your organization or wherever you work, you know with the right questions, knowing what are the questions and what are the rights that you have, and what are the right questions that you're supposed to ask. Unfortunately, the community, especially the minority community, the underserved community, sometimes we are so uneducated about these great resources, and you know, we have to, you know, go the extra mile, or sometimes wait a little longer to get the results that we need, because we don't know. And you had in the, you know, in the previous program last Tuesday, where we were talking about the fact, you know, Janelis was mentioning, knowledge is power. The more you know, the more power you have. So there you go. Today, Oumou was able to share with you information that doesn't matter what state you are. You know, this is mainly from the state of Massachusetts, but you can always go to different state and find out what are your rights, because every state will have this information available. You know, at the end of the day, you need to know that if you work, it doesn't matter if you're documented or undocumented, it doesn't matter what nationality you are, you cannot be discriminated about for your race, your faith. All of this information that was shared today, you need to know, and not just for you, but also for your, as I said, your relative, or even a coworker who you might feel that should know this information. So Oumou, I thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you guys been working so hard through the pandemic to inform, and not just to inform, but also to educate and also empower the community with the different resources that are there for our community. You heard the numbers, and I'm gonna repeat those again. I wanna make sure that people, if you haven't, taken the time, or if you didn't listen to me, as I said at the beginning, get a piece of paper, because I warn you, I said, you're gonna get great information. You go to 617, just call 617-727-2200 or 617-727-8400. Again, you can always go back to this presentation. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You're listening to this information now via Facebook Live, but this information is going to be archived in our YouTube channel, where you can just go back and get this information, take a picture, share with a friend, share with a relative, share with a coworker, and make sure that you get this information. If you are a leader in the community, we encourage you to also educate the community about these resources. We shouldn't be waiting for so long to share this information. We need to make sure people get educated, people get empowered, and I'm so grateful for the work that the Attorney General has been doing, and also for the support that you guys been giving to CAF for many years now, in partnering with us, educating the community. As I said, it's all about empowerment, it's all about education. And I feel that every time I'm able to share this information, even if one person, Oumou, even if one person hear this information. Even if one person was helpful, I think we did our job. It's not about quantity, it's not about quality, it's about quantity. It's about getting this information out, and it doesn't matter when. I mean, you shared information here that is gonna go all the way until 2023. A statistic, you know, how the minimum wage is gonna be increasing. So you need to take action. If you feel that, you know, you probably have been, you know, discriminated about, or if you feel that you don't have enough information about these issues, and if you feel that you need more information, we already share the information, or you can go to MyCAF, to CAF, Center for Assistance to Families. We'll be more than happy to make the connection and walk you through this process in partnership with the Attorney General in Massachusetts. If you are in a different state and you don't know how to go about getting the same information, just connect with CAF. Go to mycaf.org. Again, mycaf, mycaf.org. Share it, you know, fill out one of these forms that we have, and we'll be happy to, you know, to connect you, and we'll be happy to get you the information that you need to know in the state where you work or where you are. So make sure that you just visit our website, www.mycaf.org, and share this information. So Oumou, thank you so much again. This was really, really helpful. We're gonna share it. We're gonna keep sharing this information, not just us, but also the people who are listening. They are committed, and I'm sure that you guys are, to share this information. Just keep, you know, just click share, and I'm sure that somebody will benefit, and somebody will, you know, this information will be useful. I appreciate the great work, and I'm looking forward to continue to working with you and the entire team at, you know, the Massachusetts office of the Attorney General. It's been a great opportunity, and I know that we'll continue to do a great job together. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Walkiria. As you mentioned earlier, just to touch base on that, you definitely mentioned a great point. Even if it's one person that get access to this information, that is exactly the mindset that my colleagues and I have. There's been a ton of times where we've even given presentations to 2 to 3 people, just hoping that one person benefits from it. You know, we like to say that knowledge is power, and when we empower people with these knowledge, the goal is to see them become ambassadors and also share this information with others, because there's so much that we can do as a society, and just, you know, protecting one another in this world by just having access to information and knowledge. So thank you so much for having us. It's always a pleasure to collaborate with you guys, and we are proud of you guys. We appreciate all the work that you guys are doing to empower the state of Massachusetts and all over. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys heard this. I don't want you to repeat myself again, but if you haven't shared, sometimes, you know, we talk about how can we be a blessing to somebody else. I think the way sometimes you can be a blessing is by just giving information to people. It might not be giving them, you know, financial resource. It might be just giving this information. So I ask you to commit yourself to share it and to help us, you know, spread the information to the different community. That's the mission of CAP, is to transform community through information and education and resources. And CAF Informs has been created exactly to do that. So by you by you sharing this information to somebody else, you helping us spread the mission, and also educate and empower somebody in our community. I want to remind you that if you haven't filled out the census, this is the time to do that. We're only 54 days away from filling out the census, and unfortunately, the time has been shortened. So we don't have, you know, until October 31st, like before. We only have until September 30th now. So I want to ask you that if you have not filled out the census, you do that. We lose a lot of money. We lose a lot of funding that don't come to the state or to the cities where we are if you don't fill out the census. in order to us, in order for us to have resources to empower you, you know, in the community, we need the census funding. So please, please, please share this information. Please fill out the census. Also visit our website, www.mycap.org. We've been working very hard for the last 3.5 months to empower community who has been affected by the COVID-19, and we'll continue to do this with your support. So just go to our website and let yourself know by CAP that you wanna be helpful, you wanna share this information, or you wanna participate in the programs that we have. We got our first-time home buyers coming up, so if you wanna become a homeowner, please go and make sure that you become one of our participants. If you wanna know more about financial literacy, we have it every week. We have in financial management training, completely free. And it's also virtual, so you don't have to worry about leaving, the comfort of your home. You can do it right from there. Everything is free. And as I said, we're here to help. We are a HUD-approved counseling agency, and our job is to educate, is to empower, and to transform community in collaboration with a great network of over 200-something faith-based organizations that work with us to ensure that people get empowered and educated. So it will be until next week. Please share, be safe, and don't forget to fill out the census. Thank you so much again to our great speaker, and it will be until next time that we'll be meeting each and every one of us through this Facebook Live and also through YouTube, which I know some of you are listening. Thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye.